Imagine a single ribbon of steel running almost 1,726 kilometers down the length of a country. A ribbon that, if repaired and modernized, could change how people, goods, and money move across an entire nation. That's what the ML1 Railway is, Pakistan's largest ever rail upgrade, priced at roughly $6.8 billion, and long talked about as the project that would finally fix a creaky, underfunded rail system. But here's the twist. ML1 was agreed on nearly a decade ago, and then barely moved. Politics, money problems, and complicated financing talks left the plan stuck on paper, while trains kept crawling along old tracks. Now, after years of delays, the project has come back into the spotlight. China has agreed to rejoin financing and construction, and both countries have reopened the deal. For Pakistan, this isn't just another infrastructure plan. It's the chance to revive a critical transport artery. For the region, the revival raises big strategic questions, and one country in particular, India, has been watching closely. Think of ML1 like repairing the main highway through a city that's been littered with potholes for decades. Fix it and traffic flows, businesses boom, and travel becomes faster and cheaper. Fail to fix it, and everything stays slow and expensive. In the next section, we'll step back and look at the bigger plan ML1 fits into the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So you'll see why this single railway matters far beyond just tracks and trains. To really understand why the ML1 railway is so important, we need to look at the bigger picture, the grand plan known as the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC. Back in 2013, China and Pakistan launched CPEC as part of China's Global Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, a massive network of roads, railways, and ports meant to connect Asia, Africa, and Europe. Think of it as China building a modern version of the old Silk Road. Not for camels and spices this time, but for oil, electronics, and digital cables. CPEC's purpose is simple but powerful: to create a north-south corridor that links Kashgar in China's Xinjiang region all the way down to Gwadar Port on Pakistan's Arabian Sea coast. This means China can reach warm water ports directly through Pakistan, cutting weeks off shipping routes that usually go around Southeast Asia. For Pakistan, it means access to billions in investment, new highways, power plants, and jobs. Over the past decade, China has poured more than $25 billion into Pakistan through CPEC. Out of 24 priority early harvest projects, about half have already been completed, including major energy plants and the impressive Gwadar Port, which China helped build and now leases for 43 years. Gwadar has turned from a sleepy coastal town into a key trade gateway, able to handle 2 huge cargo ships at once. These projects have created over 100,000 jobs and given Pakistan's economy a much-needed boost. But among all these developments, one key piece was missing: a strong railway to connect everything together. That missing link was ML1. You can think of CPEC as a human body. Gwadar Port is the mouth that brings in trade, the highways are the veins, and ML1 is the spine that keeps the whole structure upright. Without it, the system can't stand tall. In the next section, we'll explore why this ambitious railway, despite all the promises, stayed stuck on paper for nearly a decade, and what really went wrong behind the scenes. When Pakistan and China first signed the ML1 railway agreement in 2015, it was celebrated as a game changer. The plan was to completely upgrade Pakistan's main railway artery, the line running from Karachi in the south all the way to Peshawar in the northwest. That's nearly the entire length of the country. The railway was divided into 2 main phases. The first phase would modernize the sections from Karachi to Hyderabad and from Hyderabad to Multan, while the second phase would extend the upgrades north from Multan to Peshawar. The goal was to rebuild stations, replace aging tracks with stronger steel rails, and introduce better signaling systems so trains could run faster, safer, and more efficiently. But right from the start, there was one huge problem: money. Pakistan Railways was already losing revenue every year and had no way to fund such a massive project alone. The entire upgrade was expected to cost about $6.8 billion, so Pakistan asked China to provide most of the financing, roughly $6.2 billion through a low-interest loan. China, however, was cautious. Instead of handing over a lump sum, it preferred to invest in smaller phases to manage risk and ensure each stage showed results before moving on. The two sides also couldn't agree on how the loan would be secured. China suggested using railway revenues as collateral, while Pakistan proposed operating rights as the guarantee. This financial tug-of-war went on for years. At one point, Pakistan even requested that China cover 85% of the project's cost, but Beijing declined. Eventually, China only agreed to fund about $1.1 billion for the Karachi-Hyderabad section, leaving Pakistan to somehow raise the rest, over $3 billion, on its own. The result? The Dream Railway remained just that, a dream. Meanwhile, Pakistan's outdated trains kept running slowly, goods transport remained expensive, and the cost of moving freight from Karachi port to Gwadar port stayed painfully high. The ML1 project became a symbol of Pakistan's struggle, great ambition held back by financial constraints and unstable politics. But there was another reason this project faced delays. A reason that had nothing to do with money and everything to do with geopolitics. In the next section, we'll explore how India's deep concerns about ML1 turned this railway into a regional flashpoint. Every major project in South Asia has political ripples, and ML1 is no exception. While Pakistan saw the railway as an engine for progress, India viewed it as a potential threat. To understand why, you need to look at the geography. The ML1 route runs through Pakistan's heart, but parts of it pass close to Pakistan-administered Kashmir, a region both India and Pakistan claim as their own. For India, any foreign involvement in that area, especially by China, is seen as crossing a red line. From India's point of view, the ML1 isn't just a transportation project. It's a strategic corridor that strengthens the China-Pakistan partnership right along India's border. The Indian government fears that such an upgrade could improve Pakistan's logistics and military mobility, making it easier to move troops or supplies in a crisis. There's also a bigger fear at play: the fear of losing regional dominance. In India's strategic thinking, a stronger Pakistan means a weaker India. And with China's growing footprint in Pakistan, including ports, power plants, and now railways, India sees its influence in South Asia slowly shrinking. Some analysts in New Delhi even call CPEC and ML1 part of China's string of pearls strategy, a network of infrastructure projects designed to encircle India and extend China's reach across the Indian Ocean. Whether or not that's the real intent, the perception has made India deeply uneasy. Despite its protests, however, India has no real power to stop the ML1 project. It can express concerns, issue statements, or rally diplomatic support. But the tracks continue to be laid. So while Pakistan and China see progress, India sees pressure. What was once just a railway plan has now become a symbol of shifting power in the region. But after nearly a decade of deadlock, something changed. The political winds shifted, financing deals were reworked, and construction orders were finally issued. In the next section, we'll see how ML1 was revived and why 2024 marked a turning point in this long journey. After almost a decade of delays, meetings, and failed agreements, something remarkable happened. The ML1 railway project finally came back to life. In May 2024, Pakistan's government officially approved the revised design documents for the project. This wasn't just a bureaucratic step. It was the green light everyone had been waiting for. The technical plans were finalized. Bidding began, and Pakistan's Minister of Railways ordered immediate construction on the Karachi to Hyderabad section. But this time, the strategy was smarter. Instead of trying to tackle the entire 1,700-kilometer line at once, Pakistan and China agreed to divide the project into smaller, manageable phases. This phased approach helped ease the financial strain and allowed each part to show visible progress before moving on to the next. To save money, the design was also simplified and modernized. Pakistan decided to first upgrade the existing 1,676mm broad-gauge tracks instead of fully replacing them. The double tracking of the entire line, once a costly priority, was postponed for later. Even the signaling system was redesigned. Instead of a fully automated block system, the initial phase would use computer-assisted dispatching, which is cheaper but still effective. Financially, both sides finally found common ground. A new financing plan worth around $3.2 billion for Phase 1 was nearly finalized, and it wasn't just China anymore. The Asian Development Bank stepped in to support the effort. In July 2025, ADB experts surveyed a 480-kilometer stretch between Karachi and Rohri, preparing an evaluation report to help secure more funding. For Pakistan, this moment marked a shift from talk to action. Railway teams were ordered to start producing concrete sleepers within 6 months, and 4 new tamping machines, used to stabilize tracks, were scheduled to be operational by the end of 2025. After years of waiting, Pakistan's railway network was finally starting to change. The revival of ML1 wasn't just an engineering achievement, it was a statement of national resolve. A sign that Pakistan was ready to rebuild its infrastructure, no matter how long it took. But the real question is, what will this massive project actually do for the country? How will it change life for ordinary Pakistanis and reshape the economy as a whole? That's what we'll explore next, the economic transformation ML1 promises to bring once it's completed.